So the 2025 LCQ brackets are officially out. And today I'm going to be predicting which team advances and which team falters. And if you are unfamiliar with the LCQ format, let me give you a brief introduction. So basically, the 16 teams who have qualified will be split into 4 groups of 4. And the top 2 teams from each group advances to day 2, where they pit up with a team from a separate group. And the winner of that playoff match earns the golden ticket to the World Finals. And now without further ado, let's jump into the predictions. In Group A, we have Crazy Raccoons, Inner Circle, Lore, and Revenant. And let's get it clear, guys. As a D1 Tensai Glazer, Crazy Raccoons is dominating the group. But I'll give props to Inner Circle, as their performances at the end of the season were much more better than the start. And you know, EMEA teams in this past 2 years are just much more better and superior. And judging from the player quality, it would be a shock if they don't qualify for day 2. So yeah, I got the Raccoons going top of the leaderboard and Inner Circle following behind. And for Revenant and Lore, it's kind of a toss-up in my opinion. I believe that Revenant is kind of overhyped by some fans, but I don't really watch their region, so I'm not really sure. But from the gameplay displayed in the Brawl Cup, I am less than impressed from their performances. And for Lore, it's another Chinese team. And who knows, they might pull like a Toxic Lotus or something, you know? But I still believe that CR and IC will move on, and I'll give Revenant the win over Lore. In Group B, we have Totem, Navi, Upcore Esports, and Chapter of Happiness. And yeah, this group is literally a free promotion for Navi and Totem. Navi's performances throughout the year were better than last year, I guess, but still could have been better. However, the same cannot be applied to Totem. Since iChaos left Totem, they are scrambling for even a single win. But I still believe that the EMEA teams have an advantage, and I predict them to beat Navi for first place. In Group C, we got NXT, Rival, Lotus, and Casa. Although these teams aren't the best in quality, I think all 4 teams have a chance to come out as a winner. And if you have to choose a group to watch, then Group C would be my suggestion. And I mean, besides Crazy Raccoons, Toxic Lotus has become a team that I truly love. All 3 players are crazily skilled, and you know, they deserve to be in Worlds as much as other teams in other regions. And I saw many people placing NXT as 4th, but I believe that they could be a dark horse of the competition. And I recently made a video on Casa about their downfall from the start of the season, but they managed to pick up the pace in August and barely qualifies for LCQs. But with the competition being held in their home ground, I believe that Casa could return to the grand stage. But anyways, my prediction for Group C will be Lotus topping the group, followed by Casa, NXT, and finally Rival. Rival being dead last might be a shocker, but I don't know, I feel like NXT might pull something special. And finally in Group D, we got Papra, BC, Stamina, and Synchronic. I think Synchronic is an easy 4th place, as their player quality is nothing similar to the other 3 teams. With BC having home ground advantage, I think they won't disappoint us. And judging from the few South American monthly finals that I watched, I feel like BC is basically an equivalent of Elevate, a 2nd place rookie team with insane potential. And with Jubileo joining them, I feel like the experience that he offers will be heavily beneficial to BC Gaming. And also in Europe, although Papra's performances in monthly finals haven't been the best, I still believe that the EU quality is a big threat to the group. And now back to NA, I'm not really fond of the Mexican Stamina. If I compared it to last year's Pioneers, the performances that they displayed this year was just so much worse than what they did last year. Maybe that's why 2nd best is the GOAT, I don't know. I think all 3 teams have a chance to go through, but I feel like I'm putting my money on BC Gaming finishing 1st and Papra finishing 2nd. This means that our 4 first seeds are CR, Totem, Lotus, and BC Gaming. Whereas the 2nd seeds are Inner Circle, which is probably the strongest 2nd seed, and we also have Navi, Casa, and Papra. And if you guys don't know how day 2 works for LCQs, basically a 1st seeded team will go against a 2nd seeded team from a different group. And the winner of that match qualifies to the World Finals. But still, I'm gonna be rooting for my glorious King Tensai, and you guys should too. Tensai Triple World Champ difference is coming this